If DMs and inquiries are flooding your inboxes faster than you can respond, then stick around because in this video, I'm going to show you how to implement this simple yet comprehensive AI solution to this problem that has been faced by many modern businesses. Now, this can be adapted to any business, whether local or global, using Zoom calls or in-person meetings. And you can also add your own custom fields through cal.com, and I'll show you how to do that later on in the video. So let's get right into the demo and see what we'll be building today. Now, the assistant is for an example sales coaching company called Six Figure Sales Masters. Alright, so for this demo, I've just linked it to my Instagram account. If you want to test the bot out yourself, just send a DM to me and I can send you a link to test it out for yourself. And basically, what I've just done here is I've just sent a few messages, as you can see, and it started qualifying me. So just making sure that I'm based in the US or UK, and also looking at my budget as well, making sure it's above 3K. And now it's going to ask me for my full name to collect the information for the booking. And as you can see, it's asking me for my time zone right here so that we can get the slots that are in my actual time zone so there's no confusion about that. So it's already sent me the next message. So thank you, Ibrahim. And I'm going to say Ibrahim at aiboosted.biz. All right. Lastly, do you have a company name? Yep. So I'm going to say no. Or we'll just include it AI Boosted. That's my AI automation agency. So now this should start booking a discovery call. I'm guessing it's going to get the time slots first. And it should suggest some to us real soon. There we go. So it's given us 3 time slots here. So Saturday 12:30 p.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. November 3rd. Oh, sorry, all 3 o'clock p.m. So we're just going to go with Sunday at 12, please. And there we go. It should just book the appointment. Now you can always change this behavior to just show all the slots, but I've seen from my clients that they do prefer to just show, 2 or 3 slots to make it look like they're a bit busy. So anyways, all right, so it's already been booked for Sunday, November the 3rd at 12 p.m. and I'll receive an email confirmation and I'll put that up somewhere on the screen. If you have any other questions or need further assistance, please reach out. And now I can basically manage my appointment. If I need to reschedule it or push it back, I can do that. Or if I want to cancel it, I can do that as well. And it should just send the reason as well with for the appointment cancellation. Alright, so now that's done, let's get into the overview of this system before we start building this out. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name's Ibrahim from AI Boosted, where we help businesses save time and slash costs using cutting-edge AI solutions. If you like what you see or want custom AI solutions built for your business, then head down to the description below where you can book a free discovery call, or you can book a discovery call through our AI appointment setter, which is also on our website. Alright, so this is the system, and let's start from the very bottom here. So we first send a proactive message saying, hey, how can I help? Or you could say, something like, welcome to AI Boosted support or whatnot. And then if we go over here, the user says, yeah, I was wondering about X, or I'd like to book a call. So then great, sure thing. We have slots at this time, this time, this time, or, we start the qualification process. And if they're asking about something else, then we'll just give them the info on that based on the knowledge base that's been attached. So once we start booking the appointment, we go through the qualification questions, for example, budget or location or language. And if we're not a good fit, so if the lead is unqualified or they don't have a high enough budget, we just say, sorry, it doesn't look like we're a good fit, and we avoid that unqualified lead. And once they're qualified, we can then use tools to check the calendar availability, book the slots, reschedule bookings as well. So basically, if the user is busy at that time, we can push it back an hour, or if need be, we can also cancel the bookings and submit a reason as well, all while handling time zones. And this system can be adapted to any business. So even if it's a business that's more local and they're having either Zoom meetings or even in-person meetings as well. And I'll show you how to do that when we get to the build. And for the system, we're going to use cal.com here. Then once the appointment is booked, we're all good to go, really. Now, what are the benefits of this? So it gives us boosted appointment slash call bookings because we're basically handling hundreds to thousands of DMs, and the assistant isn't breaking a sweat. It can basically handle each DM like it's the only one in their inbox. Every user has got its undivided attention. Next, we've got instant responses. Now, this is really good if you want to have an edge against your competition. Say someone comes and they send you a message saying, hey, I want to come in for a free estimate, and there's no response for hours. The user will probably go to the competition who can answer the quickest. Next, we've got handling objections and qualifying the user automatically. So we can give the assistant questions to ask the user, and through those questions, we can ascertain, whether they are qualified or not by giving the assistant a criteria. And for handling objections, we can use the knowledge base as well. So when the user asks a question, for example, I'm not sure if you can help me, do you really have a cause for this? We have direct access to the knowledge base to find an answer to that and then let the user know. Next, it's consistent. This assistant has one prompt that it follows for hundreds of conversations. So if you've got a really good prompt, it has a really good sales script, which improves results across all DMs. So next up, we've got removes the need for VAs. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Because the system is automating our DMs, we don't need any VAs anymore, which could slip up or they might not be multilingual, since our assistant is multilingual by default. And let's not forget that this AI assistant works 24/7. There's no nap times or lunch times. It will provide instant, personalized responses to your leads and customers round the clock. And finally, it's quick. It has direct access to the calendar system, so there's no fumbling around with time zones or finding free slots. It gets straight to the point and books the appointment all within that one conversation without sending any links. Alright, so now that the overview's done, let's head over to the build. If you want to learn AI one-on-one with me, then the link to book a paid consultation is down in the description below. Alright, so this is the template that basically handles everything. There's no need for make automations. It all integrates directly into cal.com, and I'll show you how that happens as well real soon. So if we zoom into this place, you can see we send a proactive message, which can be changed as well. And we give them a few options. So book an appointment or learn more. And if the user types something else, then we'll go through this route. Then we go over to this JavaScript block. And if I just click on that, we're basically just stringifying the last utterance so that we can basically post it as a message somewhere over here to the assistant. Then once we've done that, we basically use this custom code function called get chatbot responses. And if we go in here, this is all the code that basically handles the assistant messages, showing them, and also running all these tool calls. Next, if I just go back, as you can see, there's a few paths over here. So we've got set time zone, which goes to this set AI step, which basically takes in the time zone query and then matches it to one of these time zones over here. And then we've got the result where we're just setting the time zone query result to that time zone that was outputted. And then we feed that back into the LLM. So that's when it's setting the time zone. You can always take those functions off and set the time zone in the variables over here. If I just go scroll down, it will probably be here. If you set this default value here to a valid JS time zone, so one of the time zones in this list here, and then remove the set time zone tools from the bot, then you'll be able to basically lock the time zone in. Anyways, so we're resetting once the message is complete, we reset the error count and the time zone query result. And if there's an error, we retry 3 times. So as you can see, this JavaScript, we basically retry getting the chatbot response 3 times. If that doesn't work, then we go through to this message where it says, sorry, I can respond to that. All right, so then this is just some logic here to repeat the message just for debug purposes. Then when the user sends another message, we will go straight to this block right here, where we then once again stringify the last utterance. And the reason we stringify it instead of having it in like quotes like that is because basically if you send quotes in your message, for example, here's this number, and then you put it in like, double quotes, or here's what he said, then basically that's going to make it invalid JSON and the request is going to fail. So before we do it, we basically stringify it and then we inject it here without the quotes. And then we send that off to OpenAI. So we run the thread with the assistant. And if that fails, then we just retry it 3 times as well. Then once we've run the thread, we go back here to get chatbot responses. And basically what happens here is it polls the run. If there's any actions that need to be taken, then it will run those tool calls. And if it's still in progress, then basically it will just loop back to itself and keep on checking until either it's got tool calls to do. In that case, then it will basically perform those tool calls and then submit them and then keep on polling until the response is complete by the AI. And we also have this end path here. Now, what I've noticed with my clients is that basically sometimes loads of people will be DMing them with sales offers and stuff like that, or there'll be bots DMing them. And basically what I've instructed the assistant to do is if there's any repetitive messages or, people just trying to sell to them, then we just end the conversation there and then, because then it's just going to be using unnecessary tokens and costing the business. Now, all the templates for this will be on the resource hub as well. So once you've downloaded and imported the template, what you want to do is you want to go to variables over here. And as I said, if you want to lock in the time zone, just change the time zone here, put in a default value to one of the JS time zones. And you also want to clone the OpenAI assistant. And I'll basically give all the prompts and the tool calls in the description below as well. Sorry, the tool definitions. And what you want to do is you want to create an assistant just like this one. And while we're here, these are my settings. So I'm using GPT-4o. We got file search as well, which is the knowledge base. And then down below here, we've got the temperature, which I've set to 0.5 to make it a bit more deterministic. And the top P is 0.95. And that's what really worked best for me. So let's move on now. Take the assistant ID up there, copy it, and you want to paste it into this variable right here. Now, since we're using cal.com, we'll also need to get the event ID number. So the way we do that is you go into your cal.com dashboard. So let me just skip to that. Okay, and once you're in your dashboard and you've gone to the event that you want, then you need to look for this number over here, which should be towards the end of the URL, and just copy that without, in between the last slash and the question mark, just copy it. And then you want to just paste it over here in the cal event ID number. Okay, next up we've got cal location. So if this was in person, so if I'd set that to in person, then you'd put the address right here. Otherwise, if you want a Zoom meeting, it's integration Zoom, and just leave that empty. And then for the cal title, as you can see, I've just put a example title here. So it's discovery call between John at Six Figure Sales Coaching, and then a space. And what will happen there is the user's name will be added to the end as well. The rest of the variables are basically used by the assistant to keep track of things like time zones or the current appointment date and ID for cancellations and rescheduling. And now if we move on to the API keys, so you'll need to grab an API key from here. So you need to go into platform.openai.com, go to dashboard, create an API key, and then you want to go into your Voiceflow assistant. And this is a new feature. If you go into settings and secrets, you'll see your secrets here. Now there'll be an OpenAI key and a Cal API key. Just click on this triple dot here, triple dot menu on the OpenAI key, click on edit, and then you want to just paste the OpenAI key in there. And basically it's the same for cal.com. What you want to do is you want to go into your cal.com dashboard, settings, API key, API keys, sorry. And then you want to click on add API key, name your key, make sure it never expires. And then you want to copy that API key and just click on the triple dot menu there, edit and paste and save. And that should be all the Voiceflow setup that you need to do. One more thing, for cal.com fields. So if I go back to the event, if you want to include any extra fields, such as the company name right here, all you have to do is just create the field, note down the identifier, and then what you want to do is in the book appointment tool definition right here, you want to go ahead and add that as a property. So as you can see, I've got company name here and company name over there. And then just make sure the type is, string, so that it matches the input type or number, for example, and then add the correct description as well. And if it's required, then you want to add that to the required array over here. So you basically add a comma and then company name and click on save. So if it's a required field, make sure that it's in the required parameters here. But if not, as you can see, it's not required, then that's fine. Just click save there and then save up here. And that should be all the setup that you need to do on cal.com and Voiceflow in order for this assistant to work. One thing I need to emphasize is that this chatbot is an early version. It's a prototype. It's something that you would start from when making a AI solution for your clients. Each client has different needs and they'll probably want, loads of things changed, such as the messaging, or they might want to add on new tools, for example, to get their service prices live from a Excel sheet or something like that. All of these will basically need to be implemented using by changing the code within this function right here. So for example, if they wanted human handoff, you basically add a new route, go into get chatbot responses, and you'd also add a tool to the assistant. And then as you can see here in this switch case, you can use AI to program this as well if you need to. Just create a new case, for example, case handoff, and you could do a fetch request. So mirroring one of the fetch requests here, like that. So for example, await fetch, and then your, request body and your URL up there. So you can fetch and make webhook, and then to basically get the result JSON, it's basically, for example, const result equals await fetch, like that. And then it would be the result JSON. So you'd say output equals result dot JSON. And then you'd have to break here. For handing off or going down a path here, you'd add a new path with the name. And then you could say return next and the path name here. So that is my advice. Don't take this as the final product. There will be, customizations that the client will want from you. Just be prepared to deliver on these customizations. All right, once you're done setting that up, just test it out. For example, I want to book an appointment. Great. So, yep, it works perfectly. And then once you've found out that it works, just publish it right there, and you should be good to go for the next steps. Now let's move on to integrating this with Instagram or any other social platforms. So if we go into voiceglow.org and then go down into your agents, you want to click on new agent, name your agent and make sure it's advanced, and then click on create. Once you've created it, so I'm just going to go ahead into my agent over here. What you want to do is you want to go into your Voiceflow template go into integration, API keys, and copy the API key here and paste it in there. And for the project ID, it's this little ID over here as well. And you just want to paste it in there. And then you can customize the widget however you want it to be. But we're more focused on the channels tab. So to set up the Instagram channel, what you need to do is you need to click on connect over here. And there's actually a detailed tutorial on how to do this. So you need to do some Facebook developer stuff as well. And it's really comprehensive. Once you've basically done that tutorial, you can click on connect over here, continue with Meta, and it should then allow me to connect. So if I just click on reconnect, it will show me my pages and I can just click on continue on this one since it's hooked up to my Instagram. And there we go, it's been hooked up and I should be able to see all my conversations in this tab over here. One thing to note about Voiceflow is that it sends this message at the start saying you're going to interact with an AI. Please let us know if you need to talk to a human. And in most cases, with my clients, it seems that their leads always say, oh, we want to talk to a human because of this message. So what most of my clients have opted for is to go through the ManyChat route where we basically hook the Voiceflow template up through ManyChat, in which case it just doesn't send that message and interacts, the user can interact with it as they would normally through a Voiceflow web chat widget, for example. So yeah, I just thought that was something worth noting. And if you want to see how I do it through ManyChat, then I'll put a link to the tutorial somewhere up here or down in the description below. So that's how to set up an advanced AI appointment setter system for your business. Once again, if you like what you see or want to have a custom AI solution built for yourself, that link for the discovery call is down in the description below. And if you found any value within this content, please do consider leaving a like as this helps the channel out a lot. And if you want to see more AI tutorials just like this one, then please do hit the subscribe button down below as well. Now, if you want to implement a similar system like this with AI phone callers, then the video for that will be right up here. That's all from me, and I'll see you in the next one.